It's the same thing with the internet. You remember that? Like back in the day, don't get on the internet. The internet is bad. There's titties on there. You can't go on the internet. You might see some titties.
Abilities. We trust that you will use discretion in approaching publishers regarding volunteering to assist the organization in the above way. Please note that we are not encouraging individuals to pursue higher education or university degrees to obtain skills related to legal matters.
Hey, what's poppin'? It's your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? How am I doing? Oh, I'm a little tired today. My energy's a little low, but I'm alright, man. And yes, before we even get started, this is an ExJw video. And you know what to do. Anytime you see an ExJw video, you hit the like button and you leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm show it to as many people as possible. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Ooh, your wrist tendons are looking spectacular. How did you get them to look that good? Do you work out? Do you do some workouts? I don't want to know what workouts you do to get your wrist tendons looking that good, but they look good. Now, I know ain't nobody expected to get a wrist tendon compliment today, but you just got one from me. So if you want to thank me, you can thank me by subscribing. If you already subscribed, just say thanks, Jay, in the comment. But anyway, let's get to the video. So it has come to my attention that the Jehovah Witnesses are again attacking higher education. They are beating it up. We don't want you learning nothing more than what you already know. If they tell you what's 2 plus 2, then you say 4. If they try to tell you what's 2 times 2, you tell them to stay away from you because they Satan's people. We ain't trying to do no higher education. You know, that's kind of meanie. That's what they on. Now, I find this incredibly crazy. Now, this is the thing when it comes to cults. You can kind of tell a cult sometimes because their messages don't match. For example, they're asking their members if anybody, you know, is a lawyer and can help us with these cases, or if anybody's an accountant or have the skills as far as like being a realtor or doing any of these like higher education necessary positions or skill set. If you have all these skill sets that you can only get via a higher education, we can really use you. That would be a big help for us. But don't take this as we're telling you you should go and get these skills, because no, we're not. We're trying to make it as clear as possible that we would like to use these skills that you could have, but we don't want you using those skills. You know what I mean? Because if you did that, it'd take a lot of time, you'd get a lot of money, and we could possibly lose you as a as a member. And they don't want to lose their members. But just think about that for a second. It's okay for them to ask for help, but they're not going to do anything to make you go get that skill necessary to help them. Even though that skill would help everybody. It'd help the organization. It'd help the person who learned it. It'd help other people out in the world. But they would rather you not have those skills than to have those skills and prosper in life. They only want you to do what they want you to do. And this is the thing, and this is the part that's like really crazy if you think about it, right? Let's say somebody doesn't listen to them and they go out and they get this higher education, right? First off, they're going to tell everybody around them to make their life a living hell. They're not going to come right out and say that, but they are going to say, you know, they're going to have parts at the assembly. They're going to have little discussions, and they're even going to be disciplinary action that comes to people who make these moves. Like if you're an elder and you go out for a higher education and you do all this, you will be removed as elder. If you let your kids do it in certain spots, you will be removed as elder for setting a bad example. Now, mind you, setting a bad example. Anyway, so if these elders say forget it, and I'm just going to do it anyway, I'll take whatever penalty you give me, right? So they leave and they go. People are going to be criticizing them. Just imagine, not even elder, like a young kid fresh out of school. And they decide, no, I'm not going to go and go full-time ministry. I'm going to go full-time into like building up a career. And the entire time their parents are telling them, oh, you should have went out in the ministry, and even if you go, as long as you stand in this house, you need to go out of field service still. You ain't got to go full time, but you're going to have to still go out. You're going to have to still make all your meetings. You're going to have to still study for your meetings, and you're going to have to still go to the assemblies and do everything else that's required to you as a Jehovah's Witness. They're going to make sure that your life is a living hell while you're trying to get these degrees and these skill sets. They're going to make sure that even when you out there and you trying to do your thing, they like, you should be out of field service and you should be doing this, but whatever. And then you put up with all that. Plus how naturally hard it is for you to get those skill sets. You have to do it without the full support of your family and the Jehovah's Witness organization. You kind of got to do it despite them. And once you get it, right? Once you go through all these hoops and everything else to make sure you get these skill sets and you get these degrees and you're able to do what you can do as far as being an attorney, right? Let's just say an attorney, that takes a lot of school, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of sacrifice. Once you get your law degree and you're able to practice law and the Jehovah's Witnesses made it as hard as possible for you to do, imagine what it feels like for them to then say, hey, we see you didn't listen and you went ahead and got your degree anyway. You think you could come and give us some help for free? We'd appreciate it. If you can just come on down and volunteer, that'd be great. First off, let me get a shout out to ExJw Critical Thinkers, because JT and Lady C are always amazing. If you don't know about their channel, in the description, go check it out. They really went into depth as far as how the Jehovah's Witnesses are attacking higher education and why that's crazy. But I still just I gotta look at it from the perspective of how crazy is it that you could do all this despite them trying to make it as hard as possible, not backing you, not supporting you, and then coming back to being like, hey, could you help us out for free? Even if they were paying, it's yo, what are you doing? And they would remove an elder for going to school himself or allowing his kids to go for a higher education because they're setting a bad example. But what type of example are you setting to go out to your organization and ask for help from people who didn't listen to you? Can you imagine the police going outside and being like, look, we don't want nobody selling drugs. We don't want nobody in the drug business at all. But if you have been in the drug business, if you can make a couple donations of those funds to help build up the police department, we'd appreciate it. Would that make sense to you? Because that don't make sense to me. That sounds crazy as hell. And it's not like they can't go out and get lawyers and attorneys, and real estate people and any and everything that they need. They have the money. They're just nah. I would just rather see what we got in our back pocket. If we can get any of them people to do it for free, I'd appreciate that. I don't care what type of bad example it's setting, because it's setting a bad example to ask for those people after you've already told those people that they shouldn't go after those type of positions in life. How can you do that? How can you do that as an organization? It's the same thing with the internet. You remember that? Back in the day, don't get on the internet. The internet is bad. There's titties on there. You can't go on the internet. You might see some titties. But now their entire organization is almost ran on the internet. You can't even be a Jehovah's Witness without having the internet now. You need to download the new watchtowers and magazines, and you can't even be a Jehovah's Witness without an electronic device now. You gotta have that iPad or something. And that is crazy to me, the way their messages just don't match up. If you don't want people going to school to get a higher education to better their life and better the life of their children and their family, and being in a position to be involved financially when it comes to real estate, the stock market, or in all these other things you're involved in. You're involved in real estate. You're involved in stock markets and stuff like that. You're involved in financial literacy. You're involved in that, but you're telling your people, don't be involved in that. The messages don't match up. And I just find that crazy. Because education is literally something that if you believe in God, that's something God will want you to do. Am I right? Like have you ever realized what feeling you get when you learn something that you didn't know before? Have you ever just heard somebody talking and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And you just kind of listen, and the more they talk and the more you learn, the more invested and the better you feel by learning and gaining this knowledge. There is an internal feeling of happiness and security you get from learning new things. We were meant to learn as much as possible, right? If that's what you believe, if you believe in God and you believe God built us, you have to believe that we were meant to take in as much knowledge as possible and keep building it up. Now, me, I don't believe, but at the same time, I do know that I feel a certain level of happiness whenever I learn something new, whenever somebody teaches me something new. Even with my kids, like when it snaps, you know what it means, right? When you're trying to teach your kids something and then it just snaps, we all usually laugh. Like you be like, you say 2 times 2 is what? You say it's 4. How is that if you 2? Oh, I get it. Oh, that's what that means. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Like, there's a joy that comes with learning. So for any group or anybody to not be okay with education and not want people to educate themselves as much as possible, and then on the other hand, to ask people who ignored their orders and wishes for help, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, it's your boy Jay the Comedian. I hope y'all having a great day. I'm having a great day. Holla at your guala. Deuces.
I made the decision, just like so many other brothers and sisters around the world, to turn down that scholarship, to give up university, and go directly into the full-time service.